Went to a cobbler to fix a hole in my shoe. He took one look at that hole and said, I can fix that hole in you. I beg your pardon. Hey friends, how's it going? This is David Potts with Song Notes, and I'm pretty excited today to be bringing you this lesson. And this is coming at the request of one of my very first supporters on Patreon. And the song is for Acid Tongue. This is a song by Jenny Lewis, and I always will hold this song close to my heart because back when it came out, 2008, 2009 or so, it was one of the 5 or 10 favorite songs of mine when my oldest daughter was in my wife's belly growing, and I was keeping track of all the songs that were special to me at that time in my life, and this was one of them. Awesome song, and it's a pretty approachable strummy guitar song. You're gonna have a capo in the 2nd fret, which lets you play with Jenny Lewis, and it keeps the chords nice and easy. But basically, it's gonna use this handful of chords, which I'm gonna show you, and I'm also gonna show you some of the cool things you can do with this sort of like intro. Little cool trick you can do from going with a G to a C to a G. I'll explain what's going on there. I'll talk about the strumming, and then finally there's a cool technique which is going to exist where as you're doing a lot of the chord transitions, you're actually going to take your hands off the chords for a couple strums. So notice there in the last sort of down up on each chord, I was sort of taking all my fingers off and putting them back down. And what that does is it makes these sort of otherwise simple chord progressions sound a bit more, like something's going on there with the guitar. So I'm going to show you all that. I'll talk about strumming pattern and everything. So stick around. And as always, I'd like to say if you want to sort of learn this the most effective way, check out my website, playsongnotes.com, and you can find a link to the sort of Patreon page I have where supporters of mine can get a nice handcrafted print out of this. And I have 3 pages of strumming pattern and chords and tabs and lyrics and everything. Let's get to this one really quick and we'll be on our way. So basically, 2nd fret capo, again, that lets you play with Jenny Lewis. The chords we're going to need will look like this. And this is the sort of standard way to play these, right? A G chord would be 3rd, 2nd, open, 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 3rd. Okay, you got to know your G. Now, there's lots of ways to play the G as far as do you have your middle finger on the bass note? What I actually recommend, and I'll show this later in the song, is using your ring finger down here and your sort of middle finger on the 2nd fret. But we'll get to that in a bit. Then we'll have a C chord, right? Thinnest 5 strings, 3rd, 2nd, open, 1st, open. Nice and straightforward there. Then we'll have a D chord, which is thinnest 4 strings, open, 2nd, 3rd, 2nd. And an A minor, open, 2nd, 2nd, 1st, open. And there is a G over B at one point, which we're going to play. It's basically like a G chord, but you're only playing the thinnest 5 strings, right? You want your bass note to be this B. So it's a G over a B, meaning it's over on top of a B bass note. That's going to come in handy at a sort of little mini bridge section, okay? So that's how to play the chords. Now, again, I wanted to show you this little thing right here with the C and the G, because instead of doing a regular G like this and a regular C like that, that's going to make for some tough switching in the intro to this song. What I like to do is recommend this 2-finger version of the G, where we're going to have our ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 6th string and our pinky finger on the 1st fret of the 1st string, 3rd fret of the 1st string. So those are the only notes we're pressing down. You'll notice like this 5th string, what's going on there? Why aren't I doing this? Now you can put your middle finger there, but if you pick it up and you sort of lean this finger into the 5th string, it's going to sort of mute the 5th string. It's not going to make a sound. And if we were to play all the strings, that muted sound gets like washed out and lost, right? But the benefit of doing this is it frees up these 2 fingers to put them down in the spots they normally would go for a C major chord, okay? And technically what this is a C over G, meaning G is our bass note. Now I just call this a C when I'm playing, really. Like lots of chords use this, lots of songs use this sort of approach, right? And it's, when I say C here, when I say C, I'm really referring to this. Now, how this sort of comes up in the song is this intro, right? It's going to be tabbed out like this. So. Two and three and four and one and two and three and four and one and two and three and four and one and two and three and four and okay. So what's going on there is I have this strumming pattern of down, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up. And you'll notice on the four and a 4 and count, really in that first measure, that's when I'm going to have my hand in that C position here. So. Okay, so that's what you hear in the sort of intro to the song, and you also hear it at the end of the chorus, and you actually hear it at the end of each line of the verse. So it's a really common phrase. Now, if you look at Jenny Lewis play this song, she's actually doing a C back to a G, and she's using the regular chord shapes. That's a lot more movement that's going to be required of you, and you kind of have to be fast and precise. So I'm teaching you this to let you keep it nice and simple. Okay, it's really a little bit of effort goes a long way here. So now that we have the chords and we have that sort of G and C little trick you're going to use in the intro, let's look at the strumming pattern for this song. So first, let's understand the counting. It's going to be 4 beats per measure here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you'll see what I'm doing here is on the 1 and the 3 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. On the 1 and the 3 count, I'm doing a down strum. Okay? Now worry about getting the strumming pattern first without the chords. Just sort of mute the strings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is sort of the foundational base of the foundation of this song as far as the strumming goes, is that 1 and the 3 count. You want to really accent those strums. And if you want, you could take it a step further and do this. You could do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 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 so that's down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. But I really have this accent note in my chart here to make you understand that it's the 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 1 and the 3 are getting the accents, right? That's where the heftier part of the strum is coming. And the 4 and is more of a light brush, right? Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, if we were to play a chord, just play the G chord, right? Okay, so that's that strumming pattern with the first line of the song, and you sort of get the idea there. Now, if we were to sort of look at that intro thing again, the strumming pattern would look like this if you got rid of the tab. 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4, and 1, But even with that, notice that the 1 and the 3 in each of the 2 measures are getting the accent still. Okay, so now that you have the strumming pattern and you have the chord shapes, you just look at the sort of progressions themselves. Okay, so the intro just goes between that. I've already showed you this, right? G to G and C and G 2, 3, 4. Okay, now the verse, it's going to be 2 measures of G, 2 measures of C, and then 1 measure of D, 1 measure of C, and then we'll do that sort of intro sequence once. Okay, so G 2, 3, 4, G 2, 3, 4, C 2, 3, 4, C 2, 3, 4, D 2, 3, 4, C 2, 3, 4, G 2, 3, and C and G 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's going to be used in all the verses in the song. Now the chorus is going to be A minor for 2 measures, then to G for 2 measures. And we repeat that whole thing. And then the third time we do it, we're going to end on a C instead of a G. Okay, so A minor 2, 3, 4, A minor 2, 3, 4, G 2, 3, 4, G 2, 3, 4, A minor 2, 3, 4, A minor 2, 2, 3, 4 to C, 2, 3, C, 2, 3, 4 to G. Okay, after that sort of chorus, we go back to the sort of home base of the G to C to G. Okay, so that's really all you're going to need for the chord progressions of the song. And then the last thing I'll show you here is this little trick you can do of on the final down up of each sort of 2 measures you're on each chord, you can sort of just let all the strings out, right? So for a G to a C, that might sound like this. I'm going from a G to a C. So going from G to C and back again, just to sort of give you a sort of demonstrable sort of exercise there. But really it's those last 2 strums, the down up. I'm sort of using that time to take my hand off the chord, and I can start moving it to the next chord shape. But it's okay if in those 2 strums I'm letting all the strings ring. All right, it just sounds good in this particular key. And I'll go through the verse chords. I've been down to Dixie and dropped acid on my tongue, tripped upon the land till enough was enough. Okay, so that's a cool thing you can do. Listen to Jenny Lewis's album version of this. You can kind of subtly hear it there, and it adds a cool little effect. But basically, you have the strumming pattern, you have that little sort of transition trick, you have the the intro little tab I showed you there, and really I recommend learning this way to play the G because it makes this so much easier, and so many songs use this technique, okay? And then otherwise these chords will be good. Oh, and the last thing I'll talk about here is this bridge section where she goes, and you don't know what I've done. She lets the A minor ring, right? So for context, that section's coming out of a chorus, right? And we're ending on a G. And you don't know what I've done. So basically I'm doing a C, 1 strum of the C, 1 strum of the G over B, and then to the A minor. And I'm letting that just ring, right? And you don't know what I've done. Then you pick it up again. And by the rolling river is exactly where there was no snake oil cure for unlucky in love. La, da, da, da. I love this song. I could get lost in it, but I wish I could sing like her. That's my only regret of this physical body of mine. Maybe one day I'll get there. Anyway, I hope this is helpful for you. Again, check out playsongnotes.com for all the notes and tabs written up. And if you want to get the printout, it's available on my Patreon page, which you can find linked at playsongnotes.com. So thanks very much for watching. I hope this was a helpful lesson for you. For all of you who are supporting me on Patreon and who have tipped me through the PayPal link on my website, thank you so much for the support. It means so much to me, and it really inspires and invigorates me to keep going with these lessons. And I hope you find them helpful. As always, send me your requests, and in the meantime, I'm going to get going. I want you to pick up your guitar and play, if that's what you want to be doing, and have a good one, my friends. Bye-bye.